It's 4:40 in the morning on a Sunday. I normally allow myself to sleep till 5, but I didn't make it. That's okay. This is a work day. We got to get going. I always start my day with a chapter in the good book, and then I get some breakfast in me. And here we go. Warm up number 1. I'm going to start with the long adductor. All of these mobility exercises help your body create more movement at the area that they're working. So now we're doing hip mobility, and what that's going to do is create more movement at the hips, which is driven by the glutes, which means stronger leg movements. Now we're moving on to knee circles, yet another hip mobility exercise, which once again will equate to more glute dominance in my leg exercises, which means stronger leg exercises. Now we've got what I call the ballet exercise. You're going to feel this one way up in your groin. It's another hip mobility exercise. Very good. Now we're doing some internal rotation at the hip. That is an integral part of the squatting movement, and today I'm going to squat, so we're going to do it just prior to. Now we're moving on to T-spine mobility with the windmill. That's good because we're going to create more movement now in the mid-back of the T-spine, which is going to shift some of the workload up into that region and away from the lower back or the L-spine. And that's what I want as well as most people. And this is called the Bretzel, and that's just a more intense version of the windmill. Now we've got the big bang for your buck sprinter, which is both hip mobility and T-spine mobility at the same time. If you don't have a lot of time to warm up, this is the exercise you want to do. Great exercise. I do it almost every single workout. Got some more T-spine mobility here, this time T-spine extension rather than T-spine rotation. And finally, some ankle mobility. Ankle mobility is also an integral part of the squatting movement, so we're doing it as well. Now we're going to do some foam rolling. Make sure to tuck your shirt in when you're doing your back. Foam rolling is a type of self-massage that facilitates the loosening up or the relaxation of the muscles that you are rolling. It does so via a pressure-sensitive organ within the muscle called the Golgi tendon organ. When you apply pressure to it for a certain period of time, it relaxes. You'll kind of want to move around and find the tense spots and then hold the pressure on those spots. Starting off with the ab wheel again. Today I did 17 reps instead of 15. And keep in mind that if you don't increase your workload, you won't get stronger. That's the way it works. So this is an anti-extension, in other words, resisting the arching of the lower back. It's a great strengthener for your transverse abdominis, which you'll never see, but is still very important for your performance. Now we're moving on to the squat using the safety squat bar. Using this bar is a way of moving your center of gravity actually more towards the center of your body. Once again, it's an excellent tool to use if you struggle with lower back pain. This can make a person go from not being able to squat to being able to squat pretty darn comfortably. Here we got meal number 2 for the day. It's a smoothie I eat every 2 hours. My goal is about 3,000 calories per day, and I usually hit it. Okay, welcome to the intermission. We're going to take a hike for 1 minute. We're going to climb about 1,300 feet on both the Sunshine and Lions Lair Trail in Boulder, Colorado. It's going to take us about an hour. This is one of the many perks of being in shape. Hey guys, here's your question of the day. Historically speaking, if we went back several hundred years to the beginning of our nation, was the mountain lion the biggest cat native to Colorado? No? What was? If you want to know the answer, watch until the end and I'll give it to you. Then you can write it down in the comments below and I'll reward you with something cool. Back to the crosswalk, excellent anti-rotation, good for healthy backs. Kettlebell on the bottom is 3 times heavier than the one on the top. And now we're going to move into an actual rotation. I hate this exercise. It's the plank to side plank. It's good for your shoulders, but I do it as a core rotational exercise. It's very safe in that regard because you're in the plank position. Last time I did 15 reps. Today I'm doing 2 sets of 20 and 20, i.e. 40 reps per set. Don't like it at all. But it is good for me and it fits in with the program very well. Yet another anti-rotation, this one in the form of the paddler. This is the one that got me started. I really love this exercise. I give it to all my clients. And here we go, internal rotation at the hip again, this time with a heavier band. Why do we use a heavier band? And now the natural knee extension. I like this exercise. It's an isolation movement for the quads. And I think it's preferable to the leg extension machine, which I almost never use. Single-legged deadlift. I think this exercise is so boring to watch. I sped it up like crazy after these first couple reps. Anyway, this is a great exercise to determine whether or not you have symmetry and strength between your right and left sides in regards to extension. Single-legged hip thrust with my back on the bench again. This is an excellent glute exercise that oftentimes gets ignored. Glutes in general are an extremely important muscle group in your body. They're the largest muscle group in your body. And if you develop them, you'll feel a lot better just in general than you would if they were undeveloped. The incline curl. This is an old favorite of Arnold's, and I can see why. This is an anatomically more disadvantageous position to put your arms in, which makes it more advantageous to you as a trainee if you want to build maximal muscle. You let your arm hang down because your bicep originates up in your shoulder. That means it can get fully stretched when you extend your elbow, and then you curl from that position, and that makes it hard. And now we're going to do cable crunches with the rope. This is how you do them correctly. You crunch in rather than down towards the floor. In towards your hips rather than down towards the floor. I'm going to show you a couple of incorrect reps as well, but this is how you do them correctly. And now here are a couple of incorrect ones, bending primarily at the hip, going down towards the floor, working primarily the hip flexors, not the visible ab muscles. Back to dips. I couldn't find the dipping belt though, so I held the dumbbell between my feet. Still knock out a real good set. I'm doing this for chest and triceps. Another smoothie. I'm drinking these literally all day long. I go to school and I work, so these work perfectly. I just fill up the jug and get my calories in.